this time, we are going to hear from the community, hear from people who have a genuine interest in what we are trying to do here tonight. And so Representative Terry Alexander will come to give you the community impact.
Thank you, Senator Glover, my friend and my colleague in the struggle for kingdom building, Elder Green. Blessings to you, to all of you, my sisters and brothers of the community of Florence. It's good to be here. It's good to have you all here on this side of the town. Let me say something. In my coming into the building, a friend of mine, a very good friend of the community, Brother Robbie Hill, said that, Terry, good to see you. You running around here, not in a very popular way, because that's my friend. That's my friend. I do whatever I can. Just raising our taxes. So busy reading our taxes. I said, well, Robbie, let's be serious about this. If we didn't have taxes, we wouldn't have services. There's a direct correlation between taxes and services. I served on county council for 16 years, prior to being demoted to the House of Representatives. and I know the relationship between taxes and services. No taxes, no street lights. No taxes, no trash pickup. No taxes, no government working on your behalf. So there's a direct correlation between taxes and service. No one wants to pay taxes. None of us. But all of us are benefactors of those who came before us that paid taxes. I'm a product of the public school. As a matter of fact, I am the second class of the opening of Williams Middle School. A long time ago. Right there. Second class. Now, I don't know if any of you visited Williams Middle School lately, or if you ever visited Williams Middle School. And I can almost guarantee you that, if not all of you, then most of you would not want your child going into that school building because of its condition. Because of its condition in that building. Now, Williams is not the oldest school, as so many of you know, in this process. You got Southside, you got Vanderbilt, you got Waterview, more older than Williams. So I'm just trying to gather in my mind. I'm trying to gather in my mind, how are we saying we want better schools, better services, but less taxes? Now, if we didn't have the tax dollars, Irving Street wouldn't have been wide. Pioneers Road wouldn't have been the way it is. Papico Highway wouldn't be getting the widening potential that it has. And I can say that because I sat in the room when we had that discussion about the tax. And what are we going to do with these tax dollars? So to say that we don't want taxes is to say that we don't want services. And one more thing. Most of us, if not all of us, attended public school. Most of us, if not all of us, attended public school. Benefactors of the public school. Went to public school because someone paid taxes to build the school. And now, as we've gotten all we want, as we've gotten all the things that we want, and now we're saying we don't want to pass our blessings on. I serve on the Education Committee in South Carolina. And prior to that, I worked with the school system for about 20 years. I was traveling about 200 to 300 schools a year. I've seen good schools, and I've seen bad schools. We have a lot of issues in our communities, not just in Florence, when it comes to school services and school buildings. And I think it's our responsibilities every child have the opportunity as every other child, regardless of his or her zip code, economic status, or where they might live. No, I don't want to pay higher taxes. But if it means that my granddaughter get a better education, yes. If it means that my nephew who's at grades up elementary school get a better education, yes. If it means that my cousin over at Savannah Grove Elementary School get a better education, yes. I will spend the extra dollars to make sure they have the opportunity that was greater. That's greater for them than it is for me. So I'm supporting that. I'm supporting it because it's good for our community. And it's good for the economics in Florence County. I'm on county council. I served as chairman a couple of times. And back then, folks, first thing people do when they come into a community, how's your school system? How's your education system? And they will come in and look at our education system. And because of our education system, because of the fact that it's not where it should be, a lot of businesses that we don't know about, have not heard about, decided not to come. Because our education system is not reflected. And if you look across this state, if you see where the economy is booming, you see good educational systems. Look where the economy is growing, and you will find good educational learning systems. So I want Florence to continue to grow. I want us to prosper. And I'll pay for that if that's what it takes. Thank you.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will hear from a person's mouth. Who helped to define this plan? What, is that not the truth? Right, so you don't have to guess anything, and the man is here for your questions, and as long as they deal with the referendum. But you'll now have an opportunity to hear the districts, our schools' objective and their view about why this is so very, very important. Dr. O'Malley, Superintendent.
I will take course. Take course and run. I do appreciate everyone coming this evening. I thought this afternoon when I spoke at Rotary that was my last talk, but this will officially be my last talk. 62, I've counted everyone. This is my 62nd meeting, and I don't think anyone could ever accuse us of hiding this issue. I think we pretty much have created a public debate about our schools. And I think it's been healthy, maybe a little too healthy, but we definitely have the attention of everyone in our community how important our schools are. Before I begin, I would also like to recognize Representative Alexander for his help. I've been here 7 months, and if there's ever anything I ever needed, he's always a phone call away. He's always willing to help our schools, no matter what school, no matter what we need. And I appreciate that, and I want to make sure I publicly recognize him for that. So tomorrow is our referendum vote. It seems like forever, but we really have, I think, done a good job of going out there explaining the district's needs. We really have tried to tackle every opportunity to talk. I said I've spoken to 62 different groups. I think my favorite one was the 5 senior citizens that I met for breakfast. That were really entertaining. Had a lot to share with me about history, and I really felt like they gave me a good run for my money that morning. And I've met, groups as large as this 200 small and large, radio shows, television. We've never turned down, I've never turned down an opportunity to speak to any group, because I think we have a good message. And we have a good vision of where we want to take our school district, ultimately to the benefit of our community as a whole. And I think that's probably been the most important thing that we've tried to share along this, is that the community will benefit more than anything. The referendum is quite simple. I thought it was quite simple in a sense. It's 4 new buildings, 2 middle schools, Savannah Grove, and a combination of Tiburon and Wallace Gray. And it was in addition to the high schools as well as some athletic facilities. And it really was about getting out of the mobile business. We have 150 mobiles in this district, and we were trying to make sure that we had a strong plan to remove all the mobiles out of the district, and I think that was an important part of this overall plan. Over time, though, one of the things that I wanted to share is that we had a vision for the district, and that vision was to improve the academic performance for all students, every student in our school district, and that really is still the mission today. And that's what this is all about. This is all about changing the academic trajectory of all of our students to make this a premier school district, and that's what our community wants. I was also passionate about giving people a voice, those people especially that haven't had a voice. And it's that voice that I think hopefully resonated throughout this informational campaign. That voice is about the 9,000 girls, I call them, in our school district, who don't always have a voice, who don't always have the ability to stand up for the same athletic facilities or the opportunities. It's for the special ed students who've never had a voice, who come and have shared things with me, what they want in programs, and what they see as an equal opportunity for them. It's for our teachers. Our teachers are finally having a voice and listening and in public hearing how important it is to support them in our schools. Over the past 7 months, what we've tried to do is show the people in this community the great potential that our school system has. And by implementing new programs, focusing again on our academics, I'm hoping, as our number one goal was to communicate more, you see a change in our schools and the potential of the greatness that we have. We all come together and support our schools and really focus on the academics. The teachers that do every day come to our schools trying to do their best to help our students learn. To our students, someone said to me today, how do the students feel about all this? And I tried to share with them the scenario of using Williams Middle School. It's the one school I think everyone in this community, actually, I think it's everyone who has said that they want to vote no, should walk in that school and spend the day with a student. That's what I would wish. I wish that they would spend the day with a student in a place like Williams Middle School or Savannah Grove. And that's all I would want to make an informed decision. That they would have that day to listen from a student's voice what it's like to be in a school that may not be at all up to par. Or when they have to try to go to the bathroom, they don't want to go because of that bathroom. That's what I would hope for when someone said, I've done my research. I don't think it's a good plan. Spend the day in the shoes of our teachers who teach in those schools, who have those same issues as students. I said this referendum started out what I thought was pretty simple. Some buildings, some additions, get out of the mobile business. But over time, it's shifted. As we stand here this evening, the night before the vote, it really gets to the core. And I feel humbled by meeting so many people. I said today that I don't think I would have the opportunity to meet as many people in as many different places that I did if this referendum didn't come out. So for me, there is a silver lining to this. I've got to meet so many great people and hear their voice I sometimes get criticized with is I'm, maybe that northern blunt out there, but I know, as everyone has told me, when they leave the table, they know how I feel. And guess what? They said to me that you listened to me and you respected how I felt. And I think that's important. And that's been a part of this public debate that we want to have. But this debate over the referendum has shifted to what I see as the fear of change. And I've heard that over and over again, that this has the potential to change Florence. But sometimes, I think overall, and why this debate has become maybe so personal and the discourse hasn't been so well received, is that it's that fear of change. And change sometimes is hard. It's hard for a community. But I think that fear on one side is the potential and the hope on the other side. And I think that's what we have here. And hopefully, tomorrow, one of those sides will be heard loud and clear. And I think that's what we're looking for in this debate, is where Florence wants to go in the future. I think ultimately we'll hear that tomorrow at the polls. That's really all we set out to do, is to put forth this referendum to give people an opportunity to tell us, the administration, the school board, yes, this is what we feel is necessary for our schools. And I said, I don't think in those 62 meetings and during my 60 days, not a single person, even the most argumentative no person, didn't think that our schools needed to be changed. Not a single one of them. They all have, and everybody has a plan now, I know that. I can tell you one thing, there are a lot of plans now, and everyone has a voice in it, and that's good. We finally got people, but guess what? When I came here on August 1st, there wasn't a plan. We set a vision, and that's what happens when you're a leader. You set a vision where you want people to go, and sometimes you're going to take people where they don't feel comfortable going. I said to my own kids when we moved here, part of what we're doing is making ourselves vulnerable in our life. We are only going to be better people. My kids are only going to be better when they can pick up and move and come to a town where they know no one and put an impact on a community. That's what's going to make us better. And that vulnerability is what we see in our community today. It's that fear of the unknown, of what it will take to take us to the next level. And I think that is hopefully what will come tomorrow as people go out to vote. And so I'll end there, and I'll say, I think we've put forth a really good campaign. A campaign full of information. We've allowed a lot of good dialogue, maybe some really good dialogue, but I think we've got the attention of the community that really understands now how important education is. But the most important thing I can leave you with is this. When I wake up on Wednesday, I can tell you I can raise my head high. I can tell you we've informed the public. I can tell you I have not made a single promise or sold out to a single person because I believe in what we're doing. I don't owe anyone anything. I put forth a plan, and I said this is what I think we need for our school district, and I think that's important. We spoke the truth, we promoted a good debate, and we represented ourselves with dignity. We, regardless of the outcome, can go across this town and say that we tried to do the best we could to make our community better. Tomorrow is a pretty important day in Florence. It'll be historic in many ways. I think it might be one of the largest election turnouts in a long time, but that's what we want. We want people to come out and voice their opinions on how and what we want for our community. Obviously, we would like to see it one way versus the other, but I think we want the people to come out and express that. We want to move forward, and I most importantly appreciate the time that I spent with many people just engaging about where they'd like to see our community and how we'd like to move forward. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Charles Fox, and I've been living in this community, matter of fact, across from Williams Middle School for 40 plus years. My wife and I have 5 children that have matriculated through our District 1 schools. Currently, we have 3 grandchildren that are currently enrolled in District 1 schools. And I'm here tonight to say that I wholeheartedly support the referendum. I think it's needed, and I think it's the best plan that we've had. And of course, it's been said that referendum has been discussed for probably 2 years or more. And also, we had suggested at the beginning that we go for a referendum instead of pay as you go. And so I think we have a good plan. I think it's necessary. Nobody, as it's been said, have their taxes increased. Nobody wants to pay taxes. But that is the only way, it's been said, that we're going to get what we need. And we need to make the sacrifice or to have the best facilities or the best academic that we can have in our schools. The superintendent just said a premier school district. That's what I believe we all want. I know that's what I want. In the past, I've had issues with the school district. That's true. I've been an advocate for 30-some years. And there have been things that I didn't agree with, didn't like. But this is something that I wholeheartedly agree with. And I think it's necessary. So I encourage everybody to vote yes. And let me say this, and somebody has said this, that we have a democracy, we live in a democracy, where we have an opportunity. Because I think county council, city council, I think they can raise your taxes without asking you. Of course, Representative Alexander is here, and he can affirm or deny it. But the school district has to go to the public. So you have an opportunity. But the only thing I say is be informed. Now, I hear there's a lot of stuff out there, you know. But you need to be informed and be an informed voter. If you vote no, let it be an informed no, and not just hearsay and this and that. As I said, 30 plus years I've been attending school board meetings. I mean, I've probably missed, in those 30 years, I dare say I probably didn't miss more than probably 10 meetings, you know? And so I know a lot more probably than the average voter. Let me say this, that 30-something years ago, I didn't care. I went to work, I came home. You know, I didn't care what was going on in the community. I wasn't involved. But I went to a meeting at Porter because this was during the, what do they call it, rezoning. The schools had to be rezoned or whatever. And a co-worker of mine invited me to go, and I just went because he invited me to go. But when I got there, I was shocked at what was going on. And I have been involved ever since. So, tonight, praying that this referendum pass. You know, I feel good about it. Now, I got friends and I got people that don't agree with me, and we debate. But there's one thing that I have always stood for, and that was integrity. And I always believed in get the information, get the facts. I don't like hearsay and this and that. I feel this way. No, get the information, get the facts. And I have observed that, and I believe this is the best plan. As the superintendent said, when he came, there was no plan. We've been through a lot of stuff. But I think this is the best plan, and this is the best thing for District 1. And while buildings do not educate, but they certainly provide the kind of environment that is conducive to learning. And it's important. So I don't mind making the sacrifice. Here, there's going to be a significant increase. Well, your taxes are already going up. My taxes going up this year already. In year, it's going to be a significant increase in a couple of years. But it's worth it. One thing I'd like to see is Florence District 1 actually be a premier school district and a unified school district. We've been saying for years that we have a system of schools and not a school system. But the superintendent said, when he came, he said, we're going to have a school system rather than a system of schools. And he said that more than once. And like I told him, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We give them what they need, but we hold them accountable. And I, for one, will do that. So, thank you.
Referendum. And the reason we say that is because if we all ask a question that we're interested in, we will still be here when the voting starts tomorrow. And so if we just zero in on this one thing, your question must be about the referendum. There will be no follow-up questions from the floor. If you have a question that you really need an answer to, I'm going to suggest that you also use this same sheet, write that question on this sheet, and then get it to one of the Miss Chuny, Miss Parker, Ms. Rollins, give it to somebody. In fact, we'll ask you for it. If you've got a question that you want to follow up with, we will collect those and give them to the superintendent to get you an answer as soon as possible. Okay? Now remember, you're supposed to be voting tomorrow, and he's supposed to be running around. But if your question is that important, please get it to them, and we will allow him to answer that for you at another time. It is a question and answer period. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, not a debate. It is not a debate, neither will there be any, all of the ad lib that comes before your actual question? Your question. And the persons that will answer those questions, Mr. Superintendent, will you participate with this? So he will also answer any questions that we get here. This is
have the panel come up. Joetta, why don't you have the panel come on up there? Who all's on the panel if you don't want to announce who they are?
The panel can come sit down up here at the table, and we do have, Dr. O'Malley here, I think he can probably answer better than we.
Ms. Hannah Parker, Mr. Robert Lemaster, Mr. Chris Caldwell, Ms. Junie Joetta, and Chris Coleman. And now Dr. O'Malley is joining us. All right, one question that came, that we already got, FAQ response. Okay, please explain why it is the only avenue open and not a sales tax. They want to know why is the referendum, if this is the only avenue open, and why not a sales tax? And Representative Terry Alexander is going to answer that. Why we do
Terry Alexander will try to answer that. When we pose a sales tax, it's my understanding, and maybe those who are experts in this area respond more definitively. When we pose a sales tax, something like this, am I right, isn't it a county-wide sales tax? So what we'll be doing is asking people in Lake City, Johnsonville, Hampton Cove, Taylorsville to fund school district number 1. I don't think that's gonna happen. And not only that, school district will not have the authority to allocate it because it's a county-wide bond. So that just won't work. Now, there have been some discussions about us in Columbia filing legislation for some similar type of tax. Now, let's be serious about it. Those who are suggesting that don't support this tax increase. So what makes you think that they will support or file a bill? That's important. That will file a bill to suggest that we increase taxes here in Georgetown. Do y'all think that is going to happen? So this is really our only way. And I was reading and said, what is the plan B? There is no plan B. This is it. This is it. And we're praying, Elder, that this works. That this works. That the education of our children and our children's children are in your hands. This works. Not, we don't know. I don't know. I hope that's not the case.
all right. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to read the question, and panel, if you want to answer, just start talking. Raise your hand and
Unless
would it take to fund Williams more schools if the referendum fails?
I think it was Williams, just
Williams and Moore.
Southside.
And I'm sorry, that's not Moore, that's Middle. Williams Middle, pardon me. Oh, Williams Middle School. How long would it take to fund Williams Middle School if the referendum fails?
So to answer that question directly, Williams Middle School cost $35 million, and that was the only school that was going to be funded. And we, again, used the plan where we used all of our 8% money, plus, you know, the operational budget. Just to do that school would take at least 3.5, 4 years, just to have the money for that one school. It's about $11 million every year. It's about 3.5 years. That's it. Again, that was the only school, and we were doing pay-as-you-go as a budget.
What alternatives did you consider for financing before referendum?
My wife and I each bought a lottery ticket. The education lottery ticket. You know, as Representative Alexander said, you know, the sales tax isn't an option for us. It was given to us as, you know, from our legal team that is not an option. So as school districts, we only can go for a referendum to raise enough money and ask the public to do that. So the other options aren't realistic. They take a lot of things into consideration. Even sales tax, as Representative Alexander said, you know, requires a countywide vote, and it requires only Florence 1 to get their portion of that money if it is passed. And I think that takes over 14 years to raise just $107 million, I think was the number that was floated out there. So you can see what that looks like over time and where our schools are now.
Right? If the referendum passes, projects have to be completed, the writer thinks, in 5 years. If they are not completed in that time frame, what are the consequences?
So the projects don't have to be all completed by that time. They have to be substantially started. We've got to be in a sense of almost completed. So there's not major consequences if, you know, because in construction there are delays and weather and stuff like that. As long as we are on track to complete them in that 5-year period, then we'll be okay. It's if we do nothing that we get in trouble. I think the consequences are pretty severe by the public. So
New buildings are going to be built. Is there a very good plan on maintaining these buildings, and I'm adding any of the others?
So I think that's the important part of this, is that the referendum frees up money not only in the operational budget, but what we call our 8% money that we have every year for other projects, as well as we will be able to have an operational budget every year for maintenance for all those routine things that happen in schools, replacing filters, bathrooms, HVAC systems, plumbing, security. We're able to do those, and the 8% money can be used for other additions, Greenwood, having a gym and other classes, you know, those types of things can absolutely happen, and those things can happen tomorrow. That will go along that way, so people can see those things. And again, I think that's the way the plan is structured, is not to have a tax impact in 2021, so people can see, if not see in its almost entirety, buildings up, things happening before they pay a nickel in higher taxes.
that there is no plan. Please explain, what does the future look like if the referendum fails?
It's hard for me to talk in a negative. I'm a very positive, an opportunist person. I think if it for some reason does not move forward tomorrow, I think that it goes back to the board. The board has to decide on priorities, things of health, safety, and reprioritize, what monies we have and what we can do. So that would be considered the plan B, but that plan B has to be done by the board of trustees along with the administration, try to figure out what takes priority. I've said over and over, and I get criticized something for it, but I've always said if you have a plan B, you really don't have a plan A. So I think you give up if you, there should be a plan C and D, then I would say as well.
Any other questions? Otherwise, this is the last question. I have received a notification from two of my children's schools that they will be having events open to the public tomorrow. With the recent threats, what is the security plan to ensure safety in our schools tomorrow for those schools that are used for voters and for the public events that are scheduled?
Since most of the threats have been really targeted towards me, I guess I'll stay out of the school. So that would be a good way to do that. But actually, there's a article in the paper today about having an assigned police officer in every school tomorrow. Our director of security has worked with the county election board to designate certain sections of the school so they're not entering the front of the school. They're a separate part of the school, so we can monitor that. But all of that will be taken into consideration over the course of all day tomorrow. We've been working for the past 30 days, our director, with both the sheriff and the city police to make sure that our schools are safe and they are ready to go, and that everyone will have a very full school day and allow people to take an opportunity to cast their ballot in an easy, efficient, and democratic society. So I think we are set. We unfortunately are in the security business every single day, so we know what to plan for and what to look for. Our director of security is a former Secret Service agent. I think he's doing a fabulous job and has us all prepared for tomorrow.
Any other? All right, that's it. So thank you. Those all the you also got a flyer that they have filled out for you that gives you the frequently asked questions, and the answer is on this form. You have also been given a copy of the actual ballot that you will see on your screen on tomorrow. Please read it through so that you are prepared and able to help other people. Call people that you know that are going to vote. Because oftentimes, particularly elderly people, when they get to the screen and all this writing, that means a lot of reading. And oftentimes, because I've actually had them tell me this, that it would take them so long that it's going to hold up the line, which embarrasses them too. And so if you can help share, do everything that you can to get a yes vote. So share this information with them. It includes all of the things that this referendum is intended to pay for. Many of the questions they might ask can be answered other issues, no other concerns.